Hey, what up superstars, it's your boy Ibetonme. So far in Destiny 2 Season of the Wish, I have given you guys some of the most broken builds for Warlock, Titan, and Hunters. However guys, I got a Void Warlock build that is so ridiculous that it's going to give you infinite abilities. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video so you can understand exactly how this build works. And I would love to know down in the comment section what do you guys think about this build. And also I definitely want to tell you guys thank you for helping us reach 19,000 subscribers. We definitely appreciate the support. So there are two main exotics that we're going to be using to pair with this Void build. First is the Nezarec Sin exotic helmet because it has the perk Abyssal Extractors. Void damage kills increased ability, energy recharge rate. So what this basically means is whenever you get a void damage kill from a weapon, ability, or super, you will receive a buff called Abyssal Extractors that lasts for 5 seconds. Now while this is active, the recharge rate of your ability is improved. Now this buff refreshes every time you get a void kill. Alright, so now that you know the basics of how Nezarec Sin's Abyssal Extractors work, let's get into how you can use this Warlock exotic helmet. First, it basically requires void kills to function, which we know that. So you either need to use your void weapons or void subclasses. Now the ultimate setup will be to use both. Have void weapons, void subclass. By using all void, you can ensure that every kill you get will proc Abyssal Extractors. For our next exotic, we're using the void weapon Graviton Lance, which has the intrinsic trait Black Hole. Second shot of a burst rips a hole through space and time, now doing high damage and recoil with no fall off. Then it has a cosmology trait where kills with this weapon causes enemy targets to detonate and spawn void projectiles that track target. And with the catalyst, you add plus 20 to your range. You also get the perks Vorpal Weapon and Turnabout. So with Vorpal Weapon, you're going to get 20% more damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians with their super active. And with the perk Turnabout, when using this weapon to break a shield of a combatant or a guardian using their super, it will grant you an overshield, so it makes it harder for you to get killed. Also in the mid-season patch in the Season of the Deep, the Graviton Lance got a 67% more damage against PvE combatants, and the weapon also fires now at 300 rounds per minute, which is way better than when it used to at 257. When using this weapon, you're going to have enemies detonating like crazy and spawn void projectiles tracking targets and making them explode. And since this is a void weapon, it's going to be perking Abyssal Extractors on our helmet, so that's going to make it to where our abilities recharge faster, and it's going to pair well with the fragments and the aspects that we're going to be using. Now for our other weapons, I'm using this void machine gun, the corrective measure, that has demolitionist, because kills with this weapon is going to generate grenade energy, and activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon from reserves, but any void weapon will do. Also remember, any other void weapons you can use will greatly increase your ability regeneration because of the Nezarec Sin. And then I'm also using this fusion rifle to scatter signal. Now for our super, we're going with the Cataclysm Nova Bomb because of its ease of use. And for our grenade, we're going with the Scatter Grenade, which is the best grenade to use because it's going to cause multiple explosions. So we're going to be able to get that super back. We're going to be able to get all our abilities back pretty fast. Now for our first aspect, we're going with Feed the Void because when we defeat a target with our void ability, it's going to activate what's called Devour. Now with Devour, your ability effects are improved. Also, it restores additional health and grenade regeneration. And for our second aspect, you gotta go with Child of the Old Gods because when we cast our rift, it's gonna create a void soul, and when you damage a target with a weapon, your void soul flies to them and drains their energy, now doing damage and weakens them. And when a target is being drained, you are granted grenade and melee energy if running a healing rift, which that's what we're running. Now if you're running an empowering rift, it will add extra health. Also, if you have a target that is being drained by void soul, it grants class ability energy as well. So for our void fragments, we're going with Echo of Harvest. Defeating a weakened target creates an orb of power and a void breach. So picking up that orb in the void breach is going to add 2.5% to our super energy. Also Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenade creates volatile rounds to your void weapons. So volatile rounds are going to allow those enemies to explode and spread damage all over the place. So that's going to help with the class ability energy because it's void, and it also adds plus 10 to your strength. Next we have Echo of Starvation. Picking up a Void Breach or Orb of Power grants Devour. And Echo of Undermining. Your Void Grenades weaken targets. Every time your Void Grenade hits a target, it's going to weaken them for 5 seconds. So here's my gameplay strategy with this build. I normally use my class ability first. So I may start with a grenade, my Rift, or my melee. And remember, all those perk Abyssal Extractors on Nezarec and Helmet. So that's going to give me more class ability. Then I'll start using my weapons and then my super. And then I just rinse and repeat, just do the exact same thing over and over again. And for my Warlock stats, first I will focus on Resilience, number 2, Discipline, then number 3, Recovery. And here are all the mods I will be using on this build, and I also will leave a dim link down below. So if you're interested in more Destiny 2 builds for Warlock, Titan, and Hunter, I would suggest you watch this playlist next. Also, don't forget to like and sub. You guys have a blessed day. Peace.